Welcome to the Waffle Shop podcast. Today I'm joined by the brilliant Colin Bedell. He's an author, astrologist, and a fellow podcaster, and now my new best friend.
Oh, I hope so.
Welcome to the Waffle Shop.
Oh, thank you, Taylor. It's an honor to be here. That waffle back there is
Oh,
making me hungry too. I'm
see,
gonna.
I
But
get to
you're
be fair
you're
though,
more handsome.
you're American. Oh, thank you.
You're
This is why we're
welcome. I
new
mean
best
it.
friends. I get American guests on, and they don't quite understand the waffles like a talking thing. I think they expect waffles, actual waffles. Like trying to explain that to Cool and the gang was very uncomfortable for 35 minutes.
I need to listen to that immediately,
Yeah.
and it's also confirming because I love to ask the Brits like, so what do you really think about Americans? Tell me everything, right? And what one of
Oh,
my closest friends said was, you guys are just way too literal. Like, just get creative,
yeah.
And so like that just confirmed what you said. Because
Yeah.
real fast, I live on Long Island, New York, right? And so my friend, she was like, what, the people who arrived there, the colonizers couldn't call it anything other than a literal Long Island. She
God.
was like, if that was England, it would have been like Gloucestershire the third, descendant of. She was like, you were just like,
That's
what are
where
we
my
gonna call
family are
this Long?
from.
Oh, really? You're kidding?
It's
Maybe we're
literally.
cousins, so we're best friends and family.
I sent off
But
my hair to one of those things and they just sent it back like,
I'm gonna look. Are
oh,
you my second cousin
because
on Ancestry? And be like Taylor James. They were no, but anyway, that's so funny. Americans are too literal for our own good. No, I'm just hungry.
oh, sorry. Well,
That's okay.
to be fair, but I've got a hunger to learn in this episode
Oh, I
because
love that really beautiful
yeah,
transition.
I'm very good at
Okay.
this. I mean, it
Yes.
might not look. Once that record button's going, I actually know what I'm doing
Okay. I
on the
I
outside.
trust. And you did beforehand. And you did beforehand. I want to tell the audience members you did. You were so
See,
prepared.
professional.
That's right. So
Thank
you
you.
have a hunger to learn. What are we going to
Hunger to
learn
learn.
today?
But wait. Before we get into,
Oh, yeah,
did
yeah,
I
yeah.
satisfy that hunger?
Okay.
I do a thing called the weekly waffle. So it's a little
Yes.
bit of a thing that annoys me, gets on my chest.
Oh,
And when I talk about it with my guests, it makes me feel a bit better.
yeah.
It doesn't, but I pretend it because it's a nice little segment for the show.
Okay. Okay.
And this one has been bugging me for a while. And
Let's hear
I
it.
thought, do you know what? This is the perfect person to waffle about this with because
Okay.
one, I don't know if this is going to offend you, and
It
two,
won't
you
probably.
might be like, well, actually, no, there's reasoning behind it, hence the hunger to learn. So
Yes.
it's just all a beautiful segue.
I love it.
But what bothers me, and I think it's just
Hmm.
because I don't understand it, is people who blame things or their behavior on star signs. And it's like, well, actually, no, you're just being a dick. It's got
Which has
nothing to do
nothing
with
to
the
do with the time
stars.
that you were born. Right.
So is
That would
that's the
baffle
thing
me
then?
too.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it annoys me because I'm just like, there's no reason. Like, no.
No.
Okay.
Well, I agree. I think that would be incredibly irresponsible as well. And I don't let anybody get away with blaming their astrology or blaming Mars for the reason why they're irresponsible.
Yeah. Do you know what? I
No.
needed to hear that because
Oh,
there's so
good.
many, there's the little things. Obviously, people were, it caused a little bit of disruption. Obviously,
Oh,
people
good.
got a little bit aggy. And then it
Good.
was just like, oh, yeah, no, it's because of this. I was like, I'm pretty sure you haven't just used that language and called me that name because of what the color the moon is.
Well, to be fair, there was a total lunar eclipse just a few days ago, so energy was heightened,
Oh,
right?
okay.
But the
Okay.
moon, in astrology, we say the stars don't compel or impel, right? They just sort of
Yeah.
like provide an energy to investigate the way that you want to manage and move through life responsibly,
Yeah. Not every
and so
day.
no, that's true. That's true. But I do feel that people can often blame a lot of their problems on their astrological signatures. And I don't practice that way. I
Yeah.
don't tolerate that. I don't further those conversations. I put the kibosh on it pretty fucking fast, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. That's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
start doing. I'm gonna put the kibosh on that.
do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's a British way of saying, like, I ended it. I shut that shit
Yeah.
down. Maybe there
I
is.
mean, I
We
don't
could.
know what a kibosh is.
Oh, I don't even know either. I mean, people in New York just say, I put the kibosh on that. They probably abbreviated something in Italian and then butchered it. It's either Italian or Yiddish. It's one of those two. I'm going to figure it out and come right back to you.
See, I
And
told you
I'll
I'm
waffle
learning
about
so
that.
much.
I know we didn't even get to astrology. You're just learning New York sociolinguistics, aren't you, Brad?
Oh, but it's just what I've always wanted to do.
Okay.
Is there anything that like kind of like minor that gets on your nerves? Like once you kind of you think once you get it off your chest, it
Oh,
makes you feel
God.
better.
This week. Oh, well, I'm not going to blame the stars per se, Taylor, but I will say that Mars is currently retrograde in Gemini, right? So the building block of
Okay.
astrology is planet, and then it's always transiting a sign. So you can't talk about a planet without the
Yeah.
sign that it's in, right? And then is there maybe a retrograde or direct motion, right? So Mars, which rules action and energy and forward movement, is
Yeah.
retrograde for the first time in 2 years.
Okay.
And it's in Gemini, which is about communication and the way that we communicate online. So I've just been experiencing several technological snafus since October 30th. And even though I've been relatively prepared for that, it's still fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's basically it. Once I get it out there, I'm good. Thank you for giving me the space to
See,
share, to
you're
waffle.
welcome. And you know
Thank
what?
you.
I've learned two new words, kabosh and snafu. So if anything, thank you.
I listen, and the day is young. Okay, we're only 10, 15 minutes in. Just forget it.
That's what I'm
Okay,
worried about.
I know. Listen, keep up. You can do it, Taylor. You can do it.
It's been a long day.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
then.
And he's got a migraine again.
No, God, halfway through.
I'm out. Okay, I'm focusing.
So before we get into, because obviously I kind of do want to ask you a few questions about like my own kind of, I don't want to say like astrology. I don't even say the fucking word.
Astrological?
Astrological
Okay.
awakening, if
Oh,
you like.
great. Okay. Yeah.
But before we get into that, I want to know how this started for you. Like, because
Okay.
I always find this kind of stuff really intriguing because
Yeah.
obviously I went through a pretty horrendous event and then found out, well, actually, Joe, I'm gonna start waffling about it. And then here we are. But then was there anything that kind of like what were you always interested in it? And then
Okay.
what kind of like piqued your interest to like move into that world?
Well, I think I'll tell you what. First, I'll blame my mother because
Okay.
she.
Just the reason why I'm doing this as well.
Oh, see, moms, and then
I
I know, and
know.
now I'm laughing because you called David Chris, and that was his mother. That's
Bring it
so.
up.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. But remember, if we talk about it, we're taking the power of
True.
this story over us, and we're putting it over. And then just to contextualize, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna reframe this for you, okay, Tyler? I'm just kidding. And say that because he's a
Thank you for joining
Cancer.
me.
Yeah. I had to because he's a Cancer. He
Yeah.
loves his mommy, so he probably loved that you talked about his mother. Yeah, the Cancer is the sign of mother. So, like, I actually think
Ah,
if there's a zodiac sign that you'd almost want to accidentally call their mother's name, it would be Cancer. So maybe you were just letting it speak right through you. Okay.
true.
All right. And my mother is a Cancer too, so she started it really in the house, and
Yeah.
she would just talk about it. And I was like, "What do you mean you have a pair of Gemini twins?" Because I'm a Gemini
Yeah.
and I have a twin sister. And so
Okay.
she was just like really marveled by that. And, she's a New York woman who read this really popular book called Linda Goodman's Sun Signs, which was all over the city. And it just became a part of her vernacular, really.
Hmm.
But then I started to take it to another level in my early 20s when I was going through just like, who isn't going through a quarter life crisis at that
Yeah.
time, And I was just so impressed, Taylor, with how quickly it clarified the intersection of cognition, emotion, and behavior. It really was. It
Yeah.
was a systemic way of looking at the brain, the head, the heart, and the soul. And I was like, oh wow, this is so illuminating. And then I started talking more about it and just getting studied, never even imagining I would do it
Hmm.
professionally. Never. And then it just became something I had this deep psychological imperative to do all the time. And then when I was 27, I launched my website, Queer Cosmos. I'm a gay man. My best friend's a lesbian. We started that website because we wanted to start just a conversation about the intersection of spirituality and queer experiences.
Yeah.
And also, too, evaluate some astrological literature and go, is that really true? Or is that just for heterosexual people? So it started there. I put out a website in June of 2017. 2 weeks later, Taylor, I'm fired from my job. So I was
Oh,
like, oh fuck.
because of the website.
No, because
Oh,
they
right.
knew
I was
that
gonna
they are
say.
like, because you did you identify as like a gay witch too? Forget it. You can
Get
be
rid
gay,
of
but you
him.
can't be a gay astrologer. You can't be two things. All
Can't
right.
do both.
No, no, no. One or the other. Okay. So then 2 weeks later, I was like, well, fuck, I guess I'll just do this out of necessity now. And then I'm so blessed because honestly, like every month it was some trajectory, similarly to I'm sure the
Yeah.
story of the waffle shop. You just were like, let me give this a try. And then all of a sudden, these invisible helping hands come out of nowhere. Opportunities appear out of thin air.
Yeah.
The path gets revealed. And then, really, throughout the last 5 years, I've realized that I feel the most called to help people understand astrology and relationships
Yeah.
because the sole determiner of our life quality is the quality of our relationships. And astrology provides an incredible field of knowledge and vocabulary for that intersection. So here we are.
Do you know what though? It's one of those things, and I don't want to start using these like cliches throughout
No,
this.
please, it's okay.
It's those kind of things like it was quite clearly written in the stars. If you pardon like the pun, because it's
Yeah,
those things like when someone gets fired. Obviously, it's an event that like it's horrible. The panic sets
yeah,
in, but then it was like quite clearly supposed to happen for you to kind of
yes,
go on this
yes,
path. Like, well, even
yeah.
now to be sat, I get really weirded out by these kind of moments because I'm like, it's all led to this.
Yeah, and you're probably
It's
looking
like,
around like wide-eyed. What
yeah,
the hell? I know. Yeah, no, go ahead. Say more about that, right?
because I get it with like music when I hear certain
Mm.
songs and stuff like that. Like it really taps into something. So I imagine, is it a
Mm.
similar kind of thing with like astrology for you?
Absolutely. Let's be clear, there's nothing special about us and these stories. This is energy that anybody listening
Yeah,
to can begin to live by if they consider the possibility of another way. That's really all it is, right?
yeah,
And when you just kind of give up and give over your attachment to controlling the outcome and managing this, and I'm going to do this over here, you realize that there's an energy that's going to move through you that will guide you to these incredible circumstances, situations, and events that on your best day you couldn't figure out. So like
yeah.
relax. You're right. You're as sharp as a pair of marbles. Let's call it what it is. Okay. And just let the universe guide you. Really. Like, do you want to be led or do you want to plan? And so that's yeah, and that's true for you. It's true for me. I see it every single day and
Yeah.
I see it in the lives of other people. I'm just like, wow, this shit really works. So
But is
yeah.
it something like as simple? Because obviously you just think of like stars, star signs, like
Hmm.
you kind of they get thrown around like obviously quite a lot. But
Yeah.
until you kind of sit down, and obviously I'm really excited to have this conversation, is because
Mm.
until you actually sit down and properly kind of dissect it like
Hmm.
piece by piece, you
Hmm.
actually realize that these kind of things are actually like kind of documenting, and if not, like you said it, to be fair, like guiding you without you
Yes.
realizing
Yes.
that is
Yeah.
happening.
Absolutely. And it's just sort of it's a potential, it's not a promise. And
Mm.
that's where free will enters. I don't have to do it this way, but I could. Right. And so, and to your attributor of simplicity, yes, I think that anybody involved in personal development,
Yeah.
spiritual seeking, we need to remember that life is very complicated, but spiritual
Mm.
truth should always be simple. If it's not
Yeah.
simple, it's not spiritual. I'm sorry. If it's complicated and expensive, it's not fucking spiritual. So
Yeah.
that's why I try to almost, and this is what I did on the show with a bunch
Yeah.
of Brits who never even heard of a moon sign. And so what I tried to do with them is almost talk about astrology, Taylor, without talking about astrology. Because I
Yeah.
don't care about the form. I'll use it as a Trojan horse if I have to. But let's talk about other qualities that are simple and accessible for you to apply right away.
Yeah.
And that's where I try to always make sure my work is animated from because it shouldn't be complicated.
I feel like I'm getting the impression that and it's fairly safe to say that this kind of like mentality and kind of structure that you've applied to obviously that you give to other people,
Mm-hmm.
I imagine it's kind of giving you structure when you've needed it as well.
Without a doubt. Well, I tell everybody, like, honey, I'm in the mud with you. This is no
Yeah.
sage on a stage bullshit. Okay. I fucking hate these principles just as much as you hate hearing them. Okay. I do. I would so much rather rip off somebody's fucking head and hand their body to their mother, but I can't do that. Okay. So, we're going to talk about other things, but no, I'm very much in it with them. I might be half a step ahead just because I'm teaching it, but they're probably half a step ahead on a lot of things that I have to learn from them as well. I'm in relational recovery with them, and I
Yeah.
want them to know that I'm a fellow traveler. I'm not somebody telling them what to do. I'm on the fucking
Yeah.
path pissed too. You believe this? But let's try it.
I could chill out there. I think even like seconds into the recording, I was like, "Yeah, I'm with him. Like, I
Oh,
get
you
it.
knew right away.
Get it? Yeah, straight away."
Oh, good. Now I'm dying to know your astrology, but I'm gonna like keep it calm. I'm like, because this is
Okay.
your show. I don't want to colonize it.
No,
Put the
it's okay.
Colin and
It's okay.
colonizer.
That's not the first time you've said that, is it? Like you've said
Oh,
that
a
before.
few times, but I'm like, with whom? How about a fellow world colonizer, Britain? Okay. All right, it's embarrassing. So
We
let's
stick
own it.
together with these things.
Yeah, we have to, because if they're just historical atrocities, let's joke about it and then get to work. Okay. So anyway,
You've mentioned a few times about like the relationship side of
yes,
things.
yes,
Like, do you avoid people based on their star sign?
absolutely not. And that would be a
Okay.
huge disservice. Yeah,
Wow.
because you know what?
Because you do see it though, don't you? Like
Oh,
people like, oh, I
yes.
avoid this person. I can tell what sign you are, so I'm
Oh,
staying clear of you.
and I want to talk about like relatively intermediate astrology without
Mm,
losing anybody. Well, first thing I'll say is that I take the premise, which I sound sure I'm convinced of nothing. Who knows
mm.
anything about spirituality? Can't confirm it, right? But I take the premise that there is a kind of central casting. There's somebody who says, like, Taylor, meet Colin on November
Yeah.
10th, right? And just figure out what conversation you need to have. So, and we can't know the intentionality behind that assignment, but we can reasonably assume that we are assigned to people by whom we have incredible opportunities for soul growth and learning. So
Yeah.
if somebody is assigned to me, I don't go, all right, I don't want to do this because you're a Capricorn. No, I just want to look at what's the meaning, what's the story. And I probably won't even astrologize that dynamic
Yeah.
typically, right? And then also the intermediate part here is that when you look at what astrologers put forward as a model to help others understand astrology, it's called a natal chart. It's the
Yeah.
symbol of your astrological profile. It turns out, Taylor, that each and every one of us have every single zodiac sign within us. We might not
Okay.
have a particular planet in a sign. There might not be, say, a specialty or a focus. There could be, but we have the whole zodiac within us. So when people say, I don't do Virgos, I'm like, well, it's in your chart. So now what
Yeah.
you're doing is distancing and denying a fundamental component of your personality structure. Good luck with that. Can you drive with three tires or no?
Wow.
Probably not. So I caution people not to do that because that's a very simple, reductive, and frankly, like anti-relational approach to
Yeah.
astrology, which is only going to shoot themselves in the foot, and they'll wind up realizing it's a losing strategy.
No, I like it because we had someone on recently who was on the Great British Bake Off, and they were saying about like, their bacon isn't perfect at all. I mean, I don't know why they applied for the show because it was not that's not the point of the
You're
show.
like,
She's
that's
not
a
going to win.
separate. Then why'd you apply,
So
hon?
why did you
Right.
apply? But then it's that kind of thing, like you kind of miss out on some incredible opportunities just by either their star sign, the way something looks. Like you could miss out on eating the nicest cake in the world, but just because it doesn't look a certain way or what you're used to,
Absolutely.
you're
Absolutely.
going to miss out.
100%. And that's what I really appreciated about not just my study into spirituality, but like
Mm,
mental and emotional well-being, is it
yeah.
reminded me just how much I do not perceive my own best interests accurately.
Yeah.
So therefore, let me not act like I know what the fuck I'm talking about
Yeah.
24/7. Okay. And just sort of sit back and go, all right, maybe I can take a risk here. Maybe there's a lot that I don't know. Why lead with that level of
Yeah.
certainty when oftentimes, our best thinking gets us here, and where are we? Not always happy. So like, hun, humble up a little bit. All right. So anyway, yeah, no, that's the way I would
Answers
look
that
at it.
one.
Yeah, right. There you go. I swear I'm humble, even though I sound like I'm swinging my what all over the place. I don't know. I just like your energy right away.
So
I'm like, oh,
every star sign doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. All of
I
them.
love you
Swing
all.
all your whatever's around in this room. Jesus, I love it though. Okay, I'm calming down. I typically just have
It's
great
getting
laughs with
warm
my
in here. It's
oh,
getting
and
very
I
warm.
well, it's cold in my fucking house. That's why I'm wearing a jacket. So I'm like, let me talk about X-rated things and maybe that'll raise my temperature. Anyway, there you go.
Oh no, it's great. Judge Fair is exactly what I needed to say. I was in a foul mood earlier, so thank
Oh,
you for
were
this.
you? Okay, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
tell me why later. Okay.
But I want to kind of ask as well, especially when it comes to obviously you've mentioned like kind of the relationship side. Obviously, we talk about mental health quite a lot on the show.
Yes, which I love. I'm so proud of you
Is
for
there a
doing that.
link? Oh, thank you. Thank
Seriously,
you for
it's in.
joining me for waffling about it.
Of course, it was a no-brainer. Okay, is there a link? I'm sorry, I'm distracting
Is
you.
there a link between kind of astrology and mental health, or can there be like to kind of potentially? Because
Mm.
I'm a big believer in people having coping mechanisms and finding what
Yes,
works for them.
yes.
And there's a few pages that I've been kind of interacting with lately on social
Hmm.
media, and then just like, you know what, maybe this is a part or something that could potentially help me or
Oh, great.
guide me or kind
Yeah,
of
right,
give me a bit of focus other
right.
than kind of, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like meditating, but I can't do it. Like I try my hardest, but I can't do it.
It gets annoying. I know, I
Yeah.
know, I know, I know.
Because then I can like sit and I can hear my own breath.
Oh, and then you're like,
And then
not
it's like,
this sound again.
yeah, is that how I breathe?
And now I'm not thinking. Now I'm thinking, oh fuck,
Yeah.
I just lost. Right, I lost the game. I'm thinking about my breathing. Yeah, right.
But has it, to be fair, but a bit of a person, obviously, feel free to kind of
Yeah,
share whatever you want. But has
yeah.
it helped you with your like mental
Oh,
wealth being your mental health?
well, just to reverse engineer your question, I can't say for sure whether or not astrology can bolster the quality of one's mental health. It hasn't
Yeah.
been necessarily researched or studied, and there's no evidence to confirm one way or the other.
Yeah.
But what I believe has been heavily documented and researched and supported by evidence is the fact that a spiritual practice
Yeah.
is a precondition for a meaningful life. So how one frames, fashions, invents a spiritual practice, I
Yeah.
don't fucking care, but as long as, and to define spirituality, American social worker Dr. Brene Brown puts it as a realization of an inextricable connection, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Martin Luther King says that we are tied in an inescapable network of mutuality, which I
Yeah.
love, an inescapable network of mutuality. So does your spiritual practice provide you with a lens and a vision to help you understand that you are each other, we are one another,
Yeah.
whatever that means? Astrology is to me like just a beautiful symbol. All 12 zodiac signs, we all fit in this nice little circle, let's have a
Yeah.
party. I get it, okay? But if it's another path, as long as you realize that you are in this inextricable network of mutuality,
Yeah.
then you have a precondition for a meaningful life, because you realize you're not the wave, you're in the ocean. You're not the sunbeam, you're a part of the sun. So you can stand to lighten up with yourself. You can just have a good time. You can take responsibility for your shit. You can have forgiveness for other people, right? Because you kind of like get over yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
So astrology has helped me do that, actually. It really has. And then just in my own life, what it's done for me is just provided me with a sense of clarity
Yeah.
about who I am and what my strengths and challenges are. It's provided me with a vocabulary for mutuality. How do I leverage my desires with yours? And then just honestly, more often than not, Taylor, like this sense of awe. Like, I cannot
Yeah.
believe that this ridiculous hobby became my career. Like, what? I'm still shocked. And like that, I love that. I feel awe, I feel excited, and I feel totally
Yeah.
alive. Like when I'm in these conversations, I just feel so vitalized. And that,
I get
especially as
that.
a gay person, like, choosing life in the face of death, in a culture that was constantly trying to deny me of my joy, my passion, my freedom, my
Yeah.
agency, is this incredible act of resistance and like, fuck you, I'm gay and I'm a witch.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about that? Okay. And it just has, yeah, it's completely provided me with inner peace more often than not. Yeah.
I love that.
Thanks.
I love the way you articulate it as well, because it's
Oh.
it's quite rare that I have like these kind of conversations on here that are so timely. I mean, I'm a big believer in
And
like
we're
you have
talking
conversations
about
like the kind
time. Sorry to
of,
interrupt,
I
but it's a
know.
comment. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah,
Can you,
yeah,
can
yeah.
you imagine that? It's just, oh
Creepy.
God.
creepy. But they're so
Honestly,
timely,
it's
you
great.
said. Oh, good.
It's
And
great.
yeah, did I interrupt you? You were saying conversations that
Yeah,
are
it's
so
gone
timely.
now. I was trying to like,
Fuck.
yeah, I was
Sorry.
trying
I'm
to
gonna keep my mouth
sideline
shut.
it. Then I was like, stop going back to because I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh,
So
damn. Okay. I'm gonna take a breath next time. Fuck. Okay.
No, but honestly, it is really empowering, and I know there's a lot of people out there who listen to this show who were on that kind of weird path at the same time I was of like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. To be fair, I still don't know what the fuck is going
Me
on.
neither.
But it's stuff like this and these kind of conversations that I hope give people the tools to actually, do you know what? I am going to go and try that because it might be the
Good.
best thing, it might be the worst thing, but at
Right.
least you've tried it.
Yes. And I like that you're encouraging I would say like, yeah, just investigation before decision, right? Because when it comes to astrology,
100%.
there's a lot of like contempt before investigation. And
Mhm.
it's like, you haven't even tried it out yet. Like, aren't you willing to just see? And then with any like emotional, mental, or spiritual healing, we learn through experience, through direct proximity. We could talk about the
Exactly.
beliefs here all fucking day long. Okay. It's not going to do anything until you ride the bike. We're not going to talk about riding the bike. Get on the goddamn thing and fucking ride it. And then until you do that, you're not going to know shit. So do that and come back to me and let me know how it worked out for you. If you didn't like it, get a
Exactly.
different bike. It's
I like
not
what a
that
clap.
hard.
The clap.
It's not that complicated. Shit.
Oh, I think that is the thing, though, isn't it? Like everyone just just overcomplicates everything
Oh, well, because the world is
nowadays.
complicated, right? So we're trained to think that what is abnormal is normal, the
Yeah,
complexities, right? Oh, that's so normal. No, it doesn't always have to be that way. Okay. Anyway.
I'm a little bit nervous about this next bit now.
Uh-oh. I like
Because
looked at the preparation list, so it could be what you sent to me, or it could be a curveball. Go ahead.
I kind of want to know then, because obviously you've mentioned it a few times, so I don't even
Uh-huh.
remember if I sent it on the list or not. But I
Uh-oh.
kind of want to. Can you tell what star sign people are based on
No.
kind of? Oh,
Sometimes I'll
I was going to set
randomly
this up to
guess.
be like, go on, guess.
Oh, I know. I
Don't-
know.
I'm not going to do that.
I wish. I'm very clear about my limitations here,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, no, I can typically, once I understand, then it starts to make sense. But no, I'm so bad with the first
Yeah.
impressions. I am. But I'm convinced you might have some air or fire in your chart. You're quick, so that's why I really want to know.
Okay. And what's air and fire? So that's
Fire is Aries, Leo, Sag, and then air is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius.
okay. You said it the first time.
I knew it, yeah, because I saw you smile in one of them. Fuck. Okay, so good. I got the element right. Okay, look at me. Shit, watch out, bitches.
He knows what he's doing.
A little, yeah,
This
hardly.
gay witch
Remember?
knows what he's doing.
I thought I was telling Till I have this fancy astrology background to make people think I know what I'm doing, but it's all smoke and mirrors. I really don't.
Oh, I thought it was an eye.
It's yes, it's the all-seeing eye behind
That's what I
me.
thought. You the
Watching.
Illuminati.
No, yeah,
That's another episode.
Well, then you're like, he's not allowed on ever again. Okay, so
Okay.
yes, yeah, you have fire somewhere. Fucking knew it. Okay, but I know for sure that's why like it's getting hot in here. So you were mentioning like heat and everything. I was looking for context clues the whole time.
Oh, give
But
it
now I want to know
away.
which one.
Oh, stupid.
You told on yourself.
I know. This is what 90% of the things I moan about on the show. But if once I start whittling them down, it comes to I'm the problem.
Isn't that terrible? It's typically
Every
us.
time.
But then some spiritual systems would say, and isn't it beautiful because you can change it? You don't have to rely on other people. But that's for
True.
episode 2. That's for episode 2.
Yeah, that's weird. Come and join us next week. Why we're the problem.
Oh my god, I know. And then the Taylor Swift anti-hero song is everywhere. So
Well, no, because this is what annoys me as well.
What?
Is because I had that name. I don't know who's older. I don't know if it's me or the other Taylor, but like she now stole my name. And now she's saying that she's the problem. It's like I've been saying this for years.
But I'm the problem, Taylor. It's me. As the lyric goes. Wait, I'll tell you
I'm
who's
the
older.
problem.
What year were you born?
1990.
She's older. She's 89. I'm sorry.
Oh, of course, the album. She had an
Dead
album called
doy.
1989.
Yeah.
See,
Fuck. Okay, that's all
that
right.
goes
That's
that
all right.
argument.
I know.
So,
Well, not
just, sorry,
necessarily.
Taylor.
She did not fashion that title because I learned about that as a literary device years ago. So
Yeah.
it belongs to everyone.
Okay, I'll take that.
Right, good.
So not so hateful towards her.
No,
Joe. She's
no,
great.
no. She is. Oh my god, she's one of the best American exports, and she has a British boyfriend. She
Who?
does. Joe Alwyn is his name. He's an actor.
Oh, I don't know. I tend to avoid Taylor Swift's dating history because I feel like
I
she gets a
because then
pretty
it
hard time with
then
it.
it becomes a minefield. I know. I was just saying
Exactly.
for the subject of context here, she's a British girl who loves the British. No, she's an American girl who loves British boys. There you go. Can't imagine why.
It's because we colonize everything.
Oh my
And I know
god,
that
the
sounds like awful, actually.
colonizing.
I didn't mean it for it to sound. Anyway,
I knew what you
so
meant.
yeah,
And
because
they
of
got a
the
great sense
previous
of
conversation.
humor.
Yes,
Yeah, they
that's
have a
the
great
one.
sense of
That's the
humor. They are constantly making me laugh, and they're just ragging on me, and I love it. Like, yeah, take the piss out of me, please. I know
Oh,
that phrase.
don't give me the.
I know that one.
So with that, obviously you mentioned there, like it's particularly like the years and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, and I know that kind of determines and what month you're born in, like determines
Yeah.
star signs, stuff like that. What's the focus on the year when it
Oh,
comes
great
to
question.
astrology?
So, so remember how we talked about the building block of astrology is planet and
Yeah.
sign? So time speaks on the frequency, duration speaks on the frequency by which those planets will transit or stay in a sign.
Yeah.
So when astrologers say happy birthday, they say happy solar return. What they're
Okay.
saying is happy moment when the sun has returned to the zodiac sign that it was born, that you were born under, and that lasts for a month.
Right.
Right? So I'm a Gemini, so my solar return is the whole month of Gemini season. Okay. So for the question around year, that's Jupiter. Jupiter textures years.
Right.
Jupiter is in a zodiac sign typically for about 11 and a half months before it goes on to the next one. And I really understood, frankly, the Jupiter transits because in 2019, Jupiter, which rules expansion, success, vision, it was in Sagittarius from 2018 to 2019. And like that was party time, right? Because
Yeah.
Sag loves a party. It's a fire sign. Like, turn up the volume, baby. Take off your shirt and let's dance. Okay. Then Jupiter entered Capricorn literally a month and a half before the pandemic. And Capricorn is the zodiac sign that says, all right, party time's over. Let's talk about resilience.
Ah, okay.
And 2020, did we learn collective resilience?
Telling me.
Who are you telling? So that's the year. And it is cool because astrology can like texture some of that for us. And again, it's not necessarily determinism, it's not prediction, it's another way of connecting to spiritual cycles and sequences because I think people know that we're a part of a larger story, but
Yeah.
we haven't quite yet found the way to understand that. And I think that's why astrology is booming right now, is because it
Yeah.
connects people to a larger story and it helps them understand the chapters, the supporting characters. Like we're all living in it. And it's just a
Yeah.
way of telling that story, not predicting, but just telling and inspiring.
I think this is one of the good things that has come from the pandemic, though,
Mm,
because I think people are more open and are willing to learn, and they're kind of taking that step back to be like, well, actually, I don't care about all of this. I want to learn
mm,
about this. And it's kind of, I think it's opening a lot of people's kind of minds,
absolutely.
eyes, whatever it might be, to this style of conversation.
Absolutely, which thrills me. Yeah. I mean, it's of course it was a huge crisis and a collective trauma.
Mm.
And also it was a collective reckoning to really ask, like, did I live a life of the deepest meaning and value? Ooh,
Yeah.
maybe not. And that's okay because the culture tells us not to, So I think again with spirituality, first you have to unlearn. First, you have to really detach from the mechanisms by which you perceive perception, in terms of, oh,
Yeah.
I got to make this amount, I got to get this job, I got to get this many kids, this many, marriages,
Yeah.
whatever. Once you detach and unlearn, then you're in a different space of simple relearning, a simple remembering. And I think that's where we're at now. I think we're remembering what is true. I do believe that.
Do you know what? It's really odd that you're actually saying that because this is what I
Oh,
mean about having these kind of conversations at the times we're having. Because I had this recently, like with alcohol, like, and I don't have
okay.
like an alcohol problem. Like
Right.
I like I like a party, I like a beer, I like a,
Yeah.
like from out and about, whatever. But recently, I don't know what has clicked. Something has changed to me to be like, I don't think that's serving me anymore. I don't think I like
Ooh.
that anymore. And it's
Ooh.
kind of like like you mentioned there about like a bit of an awakening. I don't know if it is that. I don't know what the kind of, I don't know what's going on basically,
Right,
but
right.
I'm in this stage where like I'm questioning absolutely everything, like even
Excellent.
down to like people. Like
Excellent.
I'm not kind of, I don't know whether it's down to like energies, or I don't know whether it's about like time, effort, whatever it might be. Like no one's done anything wrong. Like there's no
Yeah.
kind of like bad
Yeah.
blood or anything like that. I'm
Yeah.
just at this stage where I'm like, I don't know if this is what I want anymore.
And I got to tell you what, that is one of the bravest and most wise decisions you could ever make.
Really? Wow.
Wh-
Okay.
oh, absolutely. So, an astrology skeptic who I love, his name is Adam Grant. He's an
Yeah.
organizational psychologist in America at the University of Pennsylvania. He has this incredible book, Taylor, and I read it when I was your age. I'm only 1 year older than you, by the way. 89 over here. Okay. So let me not get
Big
precious.
Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah, can you tell? I know. I was like, oh my god, he's got an album for me. But anyway, so it's this book called Think Again, and it's all about
Yeah.
how like stopping and reconsidering saves us decades of pain and heartbreak. Decades. So I highly recommend it. If you I was 32 when I read it, completely changed the way that I approach my work in astrology. And it might situate and contextualize where you're at right now around this
Yeah.
reorientation. And also Mars is retrograde, right? Retrograde, reorientation. You're probably speaking for so many people who are like, wow, the things that I did, the people I talked to, the movies I watched, not lighting me up. They're not making me feel fully alive. So let me
Yeah.
take a moment. Let me pause for the cause, as New Yorkers say. Okay. The cause being, I want to become the most passionate, alive human I can be. This
Yeah.
shit ain't doing it. So let me stop and think about what can help me get there.
This is good. This is very
I'm glad
good.
you think so. I hope so.
Yeah. No, it's even down to like why I was in like a bad mood today and stuff like that. So even hearing about this now, I'm
Ooh.
like, okay, maybe you're not going mad. Maybe you're
No,
actually
you're not.
having this kind of, this isn't serving you anymore, kind of awakening, if you like, to be like,
Yeah.
okay, what do I need to do now to like get to where I need to be?
And you might be that much closer on or around January 12th. So I don't know when this is going to be published, but
Right.
we've experienced this transit from October 30th of this year
Yeah.
until January 12th of next year. So you're
Okay.
probably speaking for a lot of people who didn't even know that they weren't alone. So
Yeah.
keep doing that. Yeah, because I think that's where a lot of us will be. January 12th, you might be closer to understanding what you need to do to feel fully alive. And you're a fire sign. So, like, you have to be in the fire, the energy, the life force, passion, power. Boom. When you're not
Yeah.
there, you're going to be like, this fucking sucks.
Which I think is what's happening now. I feel like a bit of power has been stripped away, and I'm kind of
Ooh.
questioning how I get back to Taylor, if you like.
Oh,
So
okay, okay. And
yeah,
I like that you said Taylor because fire to me is the energy of like sacred autonomy.
yeah,
Like, this is who I want to be. This is what I want to do. This is who I want to do it with. This is the kind of results I want to have expressed. Like, there's something very like sacred about fire ruled autonomy, fire ruled sovereignty, and so burn bright. Yeah, go back to Taylor or discover a new Taylor by January 12th.
I think that's what needs to happen, because I feel like I'm kind
Yeah.
of bored of the old Taylor, and it's like, well, okay, you've done all this work on yourself, and now it's like I just want to keep going. I don't want
Yeah.
to, I don't want to look back. I want to look that way.
Well, and you know what? I bet this kind of space that you're in right now, speaking of Adam Grant, he made a beautiful post about this. I wonder if it's also you might have completed a significant learning sequence around a topic, and now that you have the awareness, the action is required. It's
Yeah.
like you done, yeah, the work means what? Learning new things? Great. Okay, necessary precondition. But knowledge is complete when we bridge the gap between awareness and action. So what steps do you need to take to apply what you just learned?
This is good.
I don't know
But
if that's right.
before no, we're going to go with it. But before we get a little bit therapy session in here, I want to learn, because obviously we talk about coping mechanisms a lot,
Yes.
and
Yes.
obviously music is my
Oh,
biggest coping mechanism.
love it.
Absolutely love it. Obviously, astrology, all kind of things like that are yours.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else that gets you through? Obviously, you kind of made a face when I said music, so I assume there's an element
Oh,
of music there.
totally. I know. I come from a family of just so many music admirers, music passion. It's yeah. I would say it is just I have a really consistent morning routine.
Yeah,
And honestly, Taylor, I credit so much of my sustainable energy to that because I have a very high tolerance level for uncertainty and risk now
yeah.
because I give myself structure and a sense of certainty in the morning. So I'm really,
Wow.
oh, without a doubt. Like I don't really get dogmatic with a lot of shit, but I get a little dogmatic with what are you doing every day to proactively make your life work? If you're not doing anything, I don't want to know why you're so shocked that you're at where you're at. I really don't. But if you're
That
willing
hurt.
to, I'm sorry, I know. It hurt me too when somebody hit me in the fucking kneecaps with that shit. I was like, bitch. But damn, you right though. Right. I was like, you don't know me. Watch your fucking tone. Okay. But then when I started doing it, I was like, wow, Taylor, I mean, it worked right away. This shit
Yeah,
worked right away. And I was like, why was I being fucking defensive over shit that wasn't doing anything for me? You know,
yeah,
so that has helped me. And it started with honestly like 5 minutes of meditation, just five.
yeah. Just okay,
Right?
I can do
Just
that.
five.
Yeah,
Okay. And then I study A Course in Miracles, which is a self-study program of universal spiritual themes. And then I meditate on that. I do 3 pages of just freehand journaling, which I
yeah.
learned from Julia
Yes.
Cameron's The Artist Way. So yeah, I just have a I have a sacred space. And Joseph Campbell, the comparative mythological scholar from America, who put forward the hero's journey as a really inspiring motif, said that like we need a bliss station. We need a moment before any environmental demand, before we know what people ask of us, what the world wants. We just need a moment. And once we have that, I think we can follow our bliss more clearly. So that's what I try to do to help me manage and move through life responsibly.
I think it's one incredible that you do that, and two, I think it's absolutely brilliant advice because I
Oh,
think it is those begin like those first hour or so of the day where it's make or break.
it really is. And I wish there wasn't like it, I wish there was more neutral zone here, but it's
Yeah,
so true. It's like, and so we have to protect that time. And once we do, I guarantee you'll see positive results in 2 weeks. And then don't abandon the system that got you there. Then
yeah.
people get there and they're like, I'll
I'm
meditate for two
doing
and a
done
half
now.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good now. Oh, right. Just like you got to go to the gym once a year and eat healthy once a year, and you think that's going to fucking work? It won't. You know, the same
Needed
is
that
true
one as
for.
well. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, me too. I know. I'm talking to me. I'm so talking to me here. So it's like, oh, but it does. Everything changes when we just work on making our life work. And if you're curious about that, Atomic Habits by James Clear, another phenomenal book
Yeah.
about taking small steps that become big steps to give us big positive changes.
I love that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
yeah.
like listen to this back till I literally write all of this down to be like,
I know you're gonna be like,
yes.
enough with the fucking
Yeah.
references because my show notes are
No, this isn't an
so
essay.
long. I know. Never again am I having this chatty Cathy on. Okay.
It's brilliant.
It's
Right,
true.
okay, so we've got the morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
Done and dusted. Your eyes lit up when I said music.
Oh, of
I want to
course.
know what songs need to be playing to get you on the dance floor. I feel like I get the impression it doesn't take a lot.
I get the impression you're a hoe. No.
That's not no, that's not what I said.
It doesn't take a lot to like have you get naked on a dance floor. Okay. No, so you know what? I'll tell you what, if you ever had the audacity to play Heated by Beyonce off of her new album Renaissance,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
over for you bitches. It's over. It's game over. I'm gonna lose my mind if you play Heated by Beyonce.
Okay. Do you know what? You're the second person who said that. And I'm like,
Oh, who was
yes.
the first one? Should
I
they be one of my best friends as well?
No, because I feel like you only have one best friend, and that's me now. So it was Chris. Chris Tucker.
Was it? It was crap. I had a feeling he wasn't dropping it like it's hot to heated, but maybe he does
But
if it's
his
spare
mum
time.
was.
Yes, stop. Oh my god. His mom. We love you, David. We're allowed to joke with you. He's an Aries moon. He can handle the heat.
Good.
Well, good. No, you're my only best friend. We'll just invite this person, but like they can't have the dance floor for as long as we're going to be dancing. It's
No,
ours. It's our
thank
moment.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
On the flip side of that, because
Mhm.
I can't listen to certain Adele songs because sometimes they make me cry in the supermarket.
Ooh.
Is there any songs that make, like, if you're having a bad day, like, and you need the emotion to come out, is there songs that you lean to kind of
Ooh. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I cry all the time.
oh, and me?
I'm right. No, I'm just constantly weeping. No, maybe not one in particular. Yeah, it really just depends on what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I like really cried to a song. Yeah, I can't even think. I'm still in the
You're
heated
too busy
mode.
being a hoe. That's right.
Ah! Cry over who? I know. Play Renaissance. Shit.
It's not, it's not
Okay.
it's not
I
crying,
know.
it's sweat.
Come on, yeah, that's all it is. I swear, especially at the outro to Heated, I will sweat my ass off trying to get that choreography down to a science. But yeah, I haven't cried to songs in a minute. I'm feeling pretty happy right now in this moment in my life. But hey,
Good.
if you spoke to me next week, I'd be like, oh my God, it was someone like you or whatever. Hello. Yeah, see, I gotta ask because I feel like Adele. I mean, one of the most phenomenal British exports that like you must be so
Yes.
proud of her.
Joe, what? I'm quite weird with the down. Not weird with
Yeah.
that, but like I'd like to be weird with that just because I feel like we'd be really good friends.
Oh,
But like,
one, I can't even imagine the jokes between you two. I'm telling you, it would only just make you
can you
guys
just
even
like
more.
manifest that, please? Can you just
Yes, yes,
like
yes, 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 yes,
find
yes, 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 yes. Okay, and I'll just sit there. Can I just sit and watch? Because I manifested it. Okay,
Thank you.
but yeah. So you said it's
We'll
weird.
credit
Why
you.
is it weird? Okay, you better be.
I think just because I do have this weird connection with music, and I feel like it does
Mm,
soundtrack quite a lot because I
mm,
lean on certain songs because I feel like they soundtrack certain moments or certain periods, relationships, whatever it might be of like my life. But there's something about Adele to
mm,
me that I feel like she's just singing about me,
mm,
not
mm.
from like the heartbreaky kind of songs,
Yeah.
but like there's a song called Alive that was supposed to be for Adele, but it was written by Sia, and I think Sia actually sung it in the end. And
Mm,
I don't know what it is. It's
mm.
it's like when I heard it, I was like, even though I knew it was Sia, I was like, I feel like this could be an Adele song. And then it was like it was on an album that Sia wrote songs for other people, but no one else wanted them, so she ended up just releasing the album herself.
Wow, I love it. I love it.
But it was like it. Yeah, I don't know. I get very
Mm.
yeah. I don't know what it is.
Alive. I don't even think I heard that yet. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna tell you if I cry.
Yeah,
Okay. But and also too, you know, we grew up with her.
yeah.
She's my age, either 88 or 89, and
Hmm.
you're not far off. So yeah, we like grew up with her music and like, yeah, no, I'm so proud of her. I just think she's such a
She's
truth
great.
teller. Yeah, she's so loved here, let me tell you. Oh my
What's the
America.
beef with James Corden over there?
What? Oh, I don't know. I wish I had like Sips Tea moment with like an actual
Oh,
Brit. I
I
don't.
was
Damn it.
hoping. I was hoping
Yeah.
there was going to be like
Don't all you gay
something.
boys have like tea on your fucking plates or tables and you just sip it occasionally, like really fine china, astonishingly English patterns and everything? No, I do not know. But apparently he
Mm,
got into trouble in New York. It's all I
yeah.
don't believe anything like that. I really don't, you know. But
Mm,
maybe it was true. I don't know. I have to brush
I
up
don't
on
know.
it. Yeah. But I
So
love
that's
Adele
completely
and I love you.
sidetracked. Ah,
What
thank
happened?
you. It's reciprocated. I don't know how we got onto that.
Yeah, I
This is
know.
what
Well,
happens
you
on
were
this
like,
show.
well, wait, speaking of Brits that are showing their ass in America, because Lord knows Adele isn't, what's the fuck? What's going on with James?
Because
Listen,
everyone's trying to send him back, and I think Brits are now at a stage where we don't want him back.
oh no, James!
I
He's,
don't mind him. I think he's
oh,
okay. So
okay.
you
Okay.
can go just come and live with me. It's fine.
Yeah,
Take them all in.
but wait, what about, I'm going to get jealous now, because
I'll
apparently,
get bunk beds.
okay, that's
Bunk beds.
right. But then hopefully we'll have to interview him. If he doesn't have this vibe, he can't come into our house.
No.
Okay. So as
Okay,
long as there's a
deal.
really critical pre-selection process, otherwise,
We'll
no.
make a Google form.
Yeah, well, please. And also, we need his time of birth because I don't know if he's a Virgo or a Leo, and that will fuck everything
Uh,
up. We need to know. because we could theoretically get along with both, but like I'm gonna need to know because I think he was born like
Yeah.
the day it changed or something. So
No, we'll go with Adele first, and then
okay,
if
yeah. Oh
we'll see how
God.
that one pans out first,
And
and
I
then
just
we'll
feel
go.
like she would do well with the both of us. Like she's
Exactly.
just, oh man. I'm gonna work on that. I know one of her friends, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Don't do that.
I had to. I'm gonna leave you with the cliffhanger, Taylor.
Okay.
Okay. Give
Well,
you another
if it
migraine.
happens, touche, touche. Well, some might say if this happens, it would be written in the stars, which leads me very nicely
Mhm.
to a little TV show that
That's right.
is going to be exclusive on
Yes.
what channel is it? Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus, baby.
Yes.
Yep.
Where
I'm so
you
excited.
and one of my favorite people, Clara Amfo. I love her. She's brilliant.
Oh, have you met her?
I met her in a nightclub once in Swansea.
How was it?
Sweaty.
Oh, sweaty. I thought that's what you said. I'm so sorry. Yes, no, I love her. Yes, hosted by Clara. Continue. Yeah, I
She's
love
great.
her. I die for her.
Where,
Die for
I
her.
mean, is there anything you can tell? Because obviously, from what I know, you have kind of taken a group of singletons
We did.
and then based on their stars, are you matching them together? Like, what's going on? Can you
We
tell
did,
me?
Taylor. We did. Yeah, I'll give you some shit.
Can
No
you tell
spoilers,
any? Can
though.
you? I was about to say because I felt like a bead of sweat just rolled
I
off your
know. Well, if you
forehead.
take your shirt off, I'll tell you everything. So it.
What is happening?
Oh
I'm
my god! I'm
sweating.
sorry. I had to. I had
I had
to.
to like readjust
No,
my hair then.
no, you look so handsome. Okay, so me and two other astrologers, some British bitches who I love, Francesca Adi. They let me call them that. I'm allowed. Okay, relax. Francesca Adi and Michelle Knight.
Yeah.
So we were picked to just matchmake. And so we got all these different charts and we were debating and discoursing for months, Taylor, before we picked
Yeah.
who would be a great fit. And then they all came to Greece during Gemini season, which was awesome, my birthday. And we matchmaked couples and watched them connect and
Yeah.
sometimes not. And it was really incredible for many reasons because it's essentially like a multi-million-dollar research experiment if you
Yeah.
frame it like that. Because I was watching, and I think it's either called the galley or the gallery, I don't know,
Hmm.
but all the TV screens in terms of how and why people were connecting, and that informed my work with so much evidence and data. I was
Yeah.
like, this is incredible. And what was really beautiful too was honestly the willingness level from the cohort to take in what we had to say. And several of them said, I don't believe in astrology. I'm like, that's okay. Once again, I don't
Yeah.
need you to believe in it. I just want you to experience it. So try this out in this relationship and let me know what happens. And I loved each and every one of them. It was so helpful for me. I hope it was helpful for them. And also, because now this is in the trailer, so I'm proud of this. Like, it was just an incredibly diverse cast. So
Yeah.
we had queer couples, we had straight couples, which was so funny watching them like talk about the dynamics. And it was hysterical. Like, you want to talk about tea time? I was sitting there like, what's gonna happen
In the
next?
galley.
Oh, I know. They were like, it's 95 degrees. What do you have a tea for? Mind your business, John.
Exactly.
That is your real name. Okay. So anyway, where was I? Sips. No, it was so much fun. And then what I loved about Clara's role, and she lets me like butcher her vowels like that because I don't say Clara. I was like, hey,
Clara.
Clara. And she was like, oh, God, a New Yorker see it. Forget it. She could do the accent phenomenally. I can never do an English accent, but she can sound like my aunt in 0.2 seconds if she wants to. It's a little creepy. I don't like it. It's honestly unacceptable. But she was able to be the kind of audience members who are unsure, who want to ask provocative questions. Like, she was learning these ideas for the very first time, and then we'll put her journalistic skills and her communication prowess to the test there too. So I'm just so proud of it. I saw the trailer and I was like, this makes me want to go to battle. Like, I love this.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, I thought it was about romance. Now
That's
you
a
want to go to a war.
weird thing to say.
Yeah, no, you'll see at the end. Maybe if you watch, you'll be like, yeah, now I want
to watch the trailer, and then you get a phone like, ah.
I know.
It worked.
I'm telling you, I'm going to battle for my loved ones now. I'm going to war. Okay. No, it was so fun. And it was just incredible too, because I always wanted a relatively global context in my life. I
Yeah.
didn't, I'm from New York, so all I know is like international languages and cultures and all this. And so the fact that my career now has that, and I have all these excuses to go back to the UK and Europe, I just feel so blessed. I am so thankful for it, really.
Is there any point, and I don't know if you've done this as of yet, but like, has there been a moment where you have took a step back and be like, well, actually, I've done this? Like,
Ooh, not yet. You know what? I don't know if it will, because with the nature of media, you
yeah,
can't really talk about it until you can talk about it. And I still
yeah,
can't really talk about it. And so it'll start to probably feel real when people interact with it and come back to me.
yeah.
But until then, it's just like I rewatched that trailer. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
It's like,
This is
I
so.
remember that.
I do. I know. I was like totally blacked out. I was scared to death. Okay. But no, it does not feel remotely legitimate or tangible at all. And even as I'm like, if I have to like go on press and talk about it, I'm still just gonna probably you'll probably watch me have like an out of body experience, like, right? So I don't know
I know
yet.
what to look for now if I see
Yeah,
it.
really. I was
I
like, oh,
know
there
what
he
to...
goes. That out of is he having a
He's
migraine or
blacking
is
out. He's
yeah, he's
blacking out.
blacking out. I can't wait.
Oh my god, you have been. I didn't really know what to expect, but I've learned something. I've laughed. I've literally
Oh.
like you have been an absolute belter of a
Oh my
guest.
God. Thank you, Taylor.
I'm
That means so
genuinely
much to me.
so
Likewise.
grateful you joined me for
Likewise.
a waffle.
Likewise. Oh, I can't wait.